So let's start. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining this AMA. The agenda is basically to help you use Sharply better. If you have any questions regarding any of the features, or you have any questions regarding data, or how to use a particular feature, I'll answer that. And So what I'll do is I'll just open this up for questions. Uh, what I'll not answer is specific recommendation on a stock or a sector or on markets. It's more about how to use the product rather than how you should go about any tips or any analysis of a particular stock. Uh, so let's start. Uh, So one of the questions we had was around RRG charts. So let me give you a background of how we came about RRG charts. So RRG originally, and it's a patented chart built by Julius de Kemper. He is an industry veteran, and we have actually collaborated with him to introduce RRG charts on Sharply. RRG charts is a very good tool to analyze sectoral trends, sector rotation, and not just trends, but trend of trends. Uh, the idea is, and I'll try to share my screen. So you see there are four quadrants, right? And all the sectors on a weekly candle are actually uh, benchmarked against Nifty 50, and we see that it the x-axis, the RS ratio identifies trend, and the y-axis is more of a trend of a trend. The best place for a sector or a stock to be is in the leading quadrant. Uh, and okay, just a sec. So, the just like any of the tools, the idea behind this is to validate your sectoral hypothesis. Ideally, a very simplistic strategy would be to buy a sector when it enters the improving quadrant and get out of it once you see it moving from leading to weakening quadrant. But as with any tool, should not be done on a standalone basis and should be backed by proper hypothesis. Uh, and to add more to RRG chart, we'll actually organize a webinar with the original founder, Julius de Kemper, pretty soon. So you can actually ask questions to him directly about his idea behind RRG charts and how to best use RRG charts for your trading. Uh, the other question we had was around our scores, and we had a lot of controversy in the recent days when we changed the methodology of our momentum score. Uh, so instead of giving you how we calculate scores, we have written in detail in a knowledge base. I'll just show it to you. There's a section called stock scores, uh, where we talk about how each of these scores are calculated: value score, momentum score, and quality score. The idea behind and the inspiration behind this is research done by Clifford Asness of AQR Management. He's one of the leading quantitative investment manager in the world. AQR does a lot of quantitative research, and we have created these scores based on papers published by AQR. Uh, so, and you can read more about the exact methodology in these knowledge based sections. So, I have a question which says why brokers do not allow decimal amounts while depositing funds. Well, I don't have an answer for that. You'll have to ask the brokers. But we'll try to actually get an answer for you and get back to you on this. Uh, let's try to move on to the next question. There is a question on mobile heat map not being available on mobile. I think it is. It's available both on app as well as your Chrome or whatever browser you are using on mobile. It's available on both. If you still don't find it, just write to us at. We'll provide the mail ID in description below. Write to us at support@sharply.in, and we'll check why is it not showing up on your specific device. So, Mr. Nasruddin, you had a question regarding, and I wanted to send you a detailed email about this, but regarding the scores and the methodology, I just want to say we recently shifted uh, to basically storing the scores on a daily basis. The scores were always updated on a daily basis, but they were stored on a monthly basis. Now they are also stored on a daily basis, but you can always we'll add a function in both factor model and screener where you can access the score as of last month. So if you want to use in your strategies, use scores which were, say, you are rebalancing on 15th of October and you want to use momentum score value as on 30th September, there will be a function which can offset it to end of last month. We'll hopefully launch that in next 10 to 15 days. There's a question on seasonality analytics. We have just launched that. So let's take that with a pinch of salt. Seasonality analytics is basically simply uh, taking a time frame, say uh, March 1st of April to 30th of June quarter, and looking at which stocks historically, say if you're back to, we look at 10 such periods in history. So from 2015 of this that quarter to 2024 of that quarter, we see the returns of each stock, average it, and just present it here. uh, there are few things that you should note here, that this result is just 10 data points. So average, standard deviation, and all other things that you see here should be taken with a pinch of salt. It's just an indicator of which period. Say you are sitting on 21st September today and you want to see, does any stock or any sector show a strong pattern during festive seasons, which is upcoming festive seasons from October to December. So what you do is you select October to December quarter here, you s- and you select sectoral indices and run a seasonality scan, and you see that the best performing historically during this quarter has been actually Nifty PSU banks and Nifty metals. So per se, you would have expected consumption to be the best sector during this period, but that's not the case. But you cannot confirm that, because again you are dealing only with 10 data points. Ideally, uh, if you had 20, 30 data points, things would have been much, you could have said things with much more conviction, but not in this case. uh, so any questions regarding how to use functions in screening? Or by the way, we have introduced custom metric in factor model as well. So suppose you want to create a factor model uh, with, you can create your own custom metric now. Say you want to create a metric which is SMA 9 of EMA 50, right? So you create EMA 50, and then you can create an SMA 9 of this EMA 50 that you did, and then use this SMA 9 in your factor model. This was, and say I've already also added P ratio. So now you gives you complete flexibility to actually design your factor model. Plus, another feature that we have added is a post scoring filter. So far you created a factor model and you're seeing 500 stocks, you are seeing all the scores and everything. But what if you want to create a strategy and you want to filter out stocks where the volume is not great and you don't want to keep those stocks in your strategy? So you can create a post this filter, say last 1 month turnover is greater than 10 crore. So that filters out 6 stocks. Uh, let's add, increase this. Let's, we want very liquid stocks. So these are the 256 stocks, and you can create any kind of filter that you want. The only thing that you should note is that this filter is applied after scoring. The filter that you apply on universe happens before scoring. So stocks are scored on the universe and then filtered in this filter. I hope I've been able to make things clear. The next question is, index analysis introduce 5 worst drawdowns for every index. Yes, we'll do that. In fact, for stocks and index, everything, we are completely revamping the entire performance module, which will be in line with how we show the performance of strategies, backtested strategies. So we'll have everything that you get in backtested strategies in this as well. Uh, Hello to Sahil Bhai as well, who has joined right now. One more thing that we have recently launched is a lot of community screens, which you can see here. We have categorized them as price and volume, fundamental. Our favorite is the Guru screens, where we have reproduced the investing style of many of investment gurus through us, and try to capture them through a screen. But there are many multiple screens, and all of you are actually welcome to come and publish here. I don't know if you guys know, but you can actually earn by publishing on Sharply. If you publish a screen and someone else clones your screen, you get paid for every clone. So use that feature, publish and earn. So, Sahil Bhai asked, how am I investing in factor or screen? So, I generally I don't per se trade very frequently. I generally invest using a screen of high quality and high momentum stocks as one of the strategies, and the other is high quality and high value stocks at the other strategies. The idea behind basically going back to portfolio theory, if you look at portfolio theory, it's always advisable to build strategies that are not correlated with each other, and the whole concept of factor investing came because of that, right? It's found that pure play factors like value, quality, and momentum are not very correlated with each other, and when you combine them and follow a systematic approach, you actually generate alpha over the market factor. Never my philosophy is not to have, and I invest a lot in mutual funds as well, by the way. uh, uh, it's more of a core and satellite approach, where my core portfolio is still bulk of it in mutual funds, and the satellite portfolio is used for these experimentations. So I'm a big fan of mutual funds. I think they are the biggest wealth creators. Not a big fan of PMSs and AIFs, especially after this budget that has now 20% short-term capital gains tax, which makes it even more difficult for PMS managers to beat mutual funds. So yes, I invest in high quality momentum stocks, high quality value stocks, and a lot of mutual funds. Okay. What else? I was wondering that. Yeah, we have a next question. Uh, Custom universe. Can I combine large cap and mid cap index? Uh, Multiple indices is not right now, but we can actually add that. So right now, as a universe, either you can have an index or a condition like say market cap between 10,000 crore and 30,000 crore. But we'll add support for adding multiple indices. That's not a difficult thing to do. Okay. What I would also like to announce here is that we are moving to a new data provider. Currently, if you're aware, we are using FactSet as our fundamentals data provider, and we are moving to a new data provider which will make the data a lot richer, and especially stock reports will be completely revamped, and you'll see. So you right now you see only consolidated data statements, and for the interim statements you only see. Okay, so let's move on to the question. Actually, we have a question: how to use a sector rotation chart properly. We have covered this, uh, but I'll just quickly reiterate, and also uh, let's go to RRG chart again. Ideally, a very simplistic strategy for RRG chart would be to buy a sector that is moving into the improving quadrant, and sell it when it's moving into the weakening quadrant. So you hold it through improving and leading quadrant. This chart will always go in a clockwise direction, right? So it will not go in opposite direction. If you look at this chart, every line is going in a clockwise direction. So it will always be leading, weakening, lagging, improving, leading, weakening. It's possible that from weakening it can move to leading as well directly. But in order to avoid noise, always use weekly candle. Some very long-term investors also use monthly candle as well. But most of the investors use weekly candle. So I hope I've made that clear. And as an add-on, we'll have a full webinar with the creator of RRG charts, Mr. Julius De Kemper, pretty soon. So we can ask him anything you want about sector rotation and everything, because he's the father of this RRG charts. So coming back to that point of moving to a new data vendor, this will make our data much more richer. Stock reports will be completely revamped. You'll get statements not just consolidated but standalone. You'll get interim balance sheets. You'll get interim cash flow statements as well. Uh, a lot more new metric will be introduced in stock screening and factor models. Uh, but to put your mind at ease, Mr. Nasuddin and Sahil, I'll not make any changes in scores. Quality score might change because fundamentals could be slightly different between different data vendors. But I'll not touch momentum score. I'll not touch value score. And next time we'll try to do this since. So there's a question. I want to create SWP. How sharply can help? I'm asking this because I set up mutual funds. So we'll just get in touch with Avinash or Naveen from our team. We'll help you create a mutual fund portfolio. And if you want to set up an SWP, we can get it done. Right now, we personally do not support. The plan is there to support transactions of mutual funds directly from our platform, but due to some regulatory reasons we cannot right now. But within a year we'll also support mutual fund transactions on a platform as well. But right now we can help you set up with any direct fund platform. And when On this point, we'll also hopefully by this year end we'll also introduce taking your strategies live through the brokers we support as well. There's a question from Mr. Naveen. How do you check my holding on my watch list in sector rotation chart? How do you check my holding or my watch list? So you can actually use, so in the sector rotation chart, you go to stock analysis tab and you can just click on any of your watch list and it will show you your watch list analysis of sector rotation chart. You see, these are my watch list, and this is watch list 1 and this is watch list 2. So I hope that answers the question. Next question again is around sharply to set of mutual funds which are good based on back test. So okay, we'll create a portfolio for you. So what I'll do is I'll basically a portfolio of index funds. I'll show you one of the portfolios that we had created earlier. And I'll show you the performance of that portfolio. This is an all equity wealth creator. This is created out of ETFs. And this is actual live performance, not back tested performance. We started in May 2022, and this portfolio during that time has delivered 29% CAGR. Uh, Very low cost portfolio consisting of mutual funds, and will help you create that. Just get in touch with Avinash, and he'll suggest a portfolio for you. And regarding rebalancing, also he'll give you. Basically, it's for mutual funds. We suggest annual rebalancing, so we'll create a complete plan for you. No problem with that. Please introduce personal portfolio holdings that accommodate stocks, ETF, mutual funds that are invested externally. Yeah, that's in the pipeline. Uh, you can actually, we've not launched it yet, but you can actually directly import your stock portfolio and stock and ETF portfolios from your broker, and it will create something called legacy strategy out of it. Hopefully we'll try to go live with that. Regarding mutual funds, we are trying to tie up with MF Central for something like that. Yeah, these are in pipelines, and I'll request Avinash to take a note of all these requests, and all of these will be launched in times to come. Uh, Next question is, can you introduce all categories and benchmarks as per NSE index dashboard, strategy indices and thematic indices? We are trying to add this, and we'll try to Vishesh will try to add as many indices as possible. The only challenge here is that basically for index we also need their holdings as well, individual constituents and their weightages. NSE doesn't provide that data for free, and it's very expensive. So right now what we do is we proxy an ETF or an index fund for rebalancing, for weights, constituent weights of individual indices. So we'll try to include any index for which we have a corresponding index fund or a ETF, so that we can track the constituents as well. Is there any portfolio of dynamic or AI based shorter period updation? This question from Mr. Verma. Mr. Verma, I like to say that don't fall into the trap of AI based, or the buzzword of AI. Uh, AI generally doesn't work for retail traders like you and me. AI is, or machine learning per se, the hype. If someone comes and says we have a AI based model to pick stocks, all they have done is basically done a regression on last 10 years with 100 data points to give you a perspective. Uh, Chat GPT has been trained on trillions of data points. AI in investments is very difficult, and I've written a piece on it as well. Uh, so, for in finance, AI generally, machine learning generally works in high frequency trading, which is beyond uh, the basically the scope for of both you and me. Where the number of data points to train your model is very large, right? Just think of it. If you are doing a monthly rebalancing, and so essentially you want to predict what will be next month's return, a very simplistic example, and based on that you want to buy Nifty or remain in cash, and you create a model where you train whether next month's return will be positive or negative. How many data points will you have to actually train the model? Even if you take daily data points, then you have just 20 into 250, which is 5,000 data points to train your model on. So be careful about using AI. Yeah, so Vishesh, yes, we'll do that. We'll try to introduce as many indices as possible. Is there something in Sharply which can help us to know when it would be better to shift away from stocks? One is obviously the sector rotation chart, which you can use. Uh, and if you see, so it depends on your style, right? If your style is momentum, you can use sector rotation chart and see if it's weakening now, moving to weakening quadrant, you can move out. If your style is value, you can actually uh, see if it's outside your valuation comfort zone, you can move out. And but the idea is, and at Sharply also, we always say to follow a strategy first approach rather than a stock first approach, right? If you and so Let me give a broader perspective of how active equity management works, right? There are two styles. One is a bottom of stock picking, which most of the fund managers and everyone does it, right? You identify individual stocks and you buy them, and you create a portfolio out of it. So you do a lot of research, which is bottom up stock picking. I personally think that that is a more difficult way to generate alpha. A top down strategy based approach, a systematic approach where you filter stocks or score stocks based on certain factors and create a diversified portfolio of say 30, 40, 50 stocks with factor exposures, and you stick to the rules of your rebalancing and position sizing, you have a better chance of actually generating alpha. And then you don't have to worry about exiting stocks or entering stocks. Your model takes care of that. Next question is, choose a screener and do the backtest on stocks filtered. Is there anything in Sharply which will inform us when the actual difference starts substantially? Uh, Sorry. What you can do is, and that's what I say should do, and that's why we have introduced paper trading as something in between. Don't follow backtest blindly, because most of the times what happens is when you are backtesting, you tinker around with parameters, right? What you will do is, okay, I've 20 stocks, I've weighted them equally, the results are not good. Let's weight them by market cap, or let's move it to 30 stocks, or let's if my screen has say p less than 20, let's make it 18. And suddenly you tinker around parameters 50 or 100 times, suddenly you end up with a very good backtest, and you say, wow, amazing strategy. This is a classic case of overfitting your model to historical data. What you'll notice is that when you actually go live with your strategy, it will not perform well, because you have overfitted your parameters, your model to make the backtest look good. And that's why we have introduced paper trading as a kind of a cross validation. And we suggest everyone to actually, once you are happy with your backtest, you paper trade your strategy for 6 months. And if you see that, yeah, the results are actually mimicking what I had seen in my backtest, and everything is as per my expectations, that's when you go live. It's a classic case of how people build machine learning models. They divide the entire data set into a test set, train set, test set, and a cross validation set, right? And that's paper trading is a cross validation set, and your backtest is your train set where you train your model. Uh, how can I use Sharply for my daily intraday? Which tools will be useful? Can you show quick demo of it? So right now we don't have much support for intraday trading. Hopefully, in next 6 months we'll have a lot of it. Uh, is there any preferred browser for your site? There's no such preferred browsers. Vishesh, if you are facing a glitch, because I use it completely on my Mac OS. If you're facing any glitch, please just write to us, and we'll get it fixed ASAP. Thanks, Sunil. Thanks for your kind words. Mr. Verma, yeah, QVM score is a good proxy, but apply other filters as well, so that you don't end up with a lot of. Anyways, our QVM score, our first filter is we only score stocks that are above 100 crores of market cap. But you should apply other filters as well of liquidity. It should be decent volume, and uh, and you can create a good strategy out of it. Yes, backtesting results are pretty accurate, but as I was saying earlier, uh, don't solely go by backtesting results. And which brings me to a point where we'll be introducing a feature called "How good is my strategy?" What it'll do is it'll not run a single backtest, but it'll create perturbations of your strategy, and also pick random starting and ending dates, and conduct 15 to 20 backtests and see if how is your returns distributed over those 15 to 20 backtests. Ideally, you would want your returns to be stable across. It should not change based on your starting or ending date. Or so we'll add this feature of actually how good is your backtest, which will calculate the distribution of your backtested results, distribution of your Sharp ratio, which will give you an idea that yeah, my strategy is robust and likely to perform better in live environment. uh, are you storing data on quarterly basis or monthly basis which is used for backtesting? So, Mr. Patel, a lot of data is being stored on a daily basis. Any price-based data, price-based metric, like obviously open, high, low, close, or market cap, or valuation metrics, which are based on price, P, PB, are stored on a daily basis. Fundamental metrics are stored on a monthly basis. I hope that answers that question. Uh, Two issues with Sharply. It frequently gets logged out even though I have same browser. For some stocks, it's showing JS error. Uh, okay, logged out is we are working on it. We log out every 24 hours, but we are trying to decrease the frequency of logout. And the stocks that you are seeing JS error, please just write to us. We'll provide the support link, and write to us, and we'll fix that ASAP. There should be no error. Will uh, Can you implement always logged in if I use same browser in Mac and we have a pin for extra safety just like Grow Web app? Yes, we can. We will. Uh, Avinash, do take a note of this. We should actually do that. We'll do that pretty soon. Uh, I do switch over screener clone to other clone. Sorry, I didn't get the question. Maybe you can write to us, and we'll help you answer that. Uh, we had a question yesterday about clone credits. So just to give all of you an idea, the clone credits that you have are refreshed monthly. So if you have 10 clone credits, it's for a month. And if you utilize all of them, when once the month gets over, you'll get back 10 more credits. So it's on a monthly basis and not lifetime basis. In screener, can we filter 1 week share price along with and condition? It's very important. 1 week, I didn't 1 week share price along with and I did not get. I'm not able to get this. If you can write to us exactly what you want, we'll tell you how to do it. But you can have a weekly close in screener as well by switching time frames, right? I'll just show it to you. I don't know if this is what you mean, but you can use a candle close function on a weekly time frame, which will give you weekly close. I hope this is what robustness factor in backtest will be introduced. Yes, by the end of this year. But just to give you a perspective, it will only be available to selected users, because, as I said, it will require 15 to 20 backtests in one go, and you'll not be able to see the results directly. We'll run it when the load on the server is less, probably during the night, and then email the report to you. Uh, uh, I hope I made that point clear. 1 week share price is greater than five. It, I'm not able to understand what 1 week share price means. If you're asking about weekly close, this we is what you are being asked. And market cap, obviously, you are given a 50,000 crore filter, right? Okay, return over 1 week. Yeah, that's pretty simple, right? That uh, you can use momentum this, and you use close and set the period to 5 trading days is greater than 5, and market cap is greater than 50,000 crores. Is that robustness factor uh, also applicable to mutual funds? Yeah, so the backtest will also be there for mutual funds as well. Yes, obviously. I hope I've answered the question of return over 1 week greater than 5. Was it visible on my screen? You can use momentum function, which does nothing but calculates the return. Or there are a number of ways of doing this. We'll email you this. Uh, you can also use. We'll introduce a 5 day return as directly as a metric as well. Uh, any more questions, or should we end the stream? Okay, I guess, and I hope that I have answered your questions to your satisfaction. If something has not been unanswered, or some of my answers were you could not understand, or were not satisfied with the answer, please do write to us at support@sharply.in. We'll make sure that every of your question is answered. Uh, and again, I thank you for using this product. We'll continue to improve this. Keep giving us feedback like this, and we'll keep adding more features and keep making this more robust. Uh, okay, we have more questions as well. In the momentum indicator, don't have a crossover function. We have a crossover. I don't know if this is what you're this, but say I want to do a CS SMA 50 crossover. We can use crosses above SMA 200. So there is a crosses above and crosses below comparator per se. Yeah. Can you please tell us how to invest step by step using Sharply with simple, already properly backtested models? Uh, for So what we'll do is you can use community screens that we have published by Sharply. These screens, these strategies, published strategies, and you can use it to create a mutual fund portfolio. And just write to us, and we'll help you create a portfolio and implement that portfolio. Which is, I guess, I have answered your question about momentum crossover function, right? Okay, guys. I guess. Okay. So could you explain exactly what you're looking for? And if we have it, if we don't have it, we'll try to implement it as soon as possible. Uh, okay, Vishesh, we'll get in touch with you and look for exactly what you're trying to do. We'll definitely RSI crossing 40. Yes, that you can do, right? Here, so I don't know if my screen is visible or not. Sorry. Is this visible? RSI crossing 40 is exactly what we just created. Yeah, so yeah, thanks for joining, Ben, and we'll this. Regarding your question, when I filter returns over 1 week, greater than five, and market cap, uh, we'll we'll get in touch with you and see why what is happening. If there's an error, we'll fix it ASAP. Uh, okay, everyone. Thanks for joining. And again, do not hesitate to write to us. Next time, we'll try to do more of a okay, in Mac Air 13-inch default fonts are very small. We'll try to actually add a setting where you can do it on a. You can have a higher font as well. Uh, we'll check that and we'll try to fix it as well. Does screener help to check the stages of base? I'm not sure I get the question. Mr. Verma, I'm not sure I got your question, but yeah, you can write to us, and we'll answer that question for you. Thank you so much for that. Base formation of stocks. Uh, we support a lot of chart patterns, and I think uh, the person on my team who does a lot of trading, I am not a trader, so I'll not be able to answer that question to your satisfaction. We'll get back. Avinash, just get back to Mr. Verma about that. If you have any chart pattern that helps identify base formation or stage analysis, whatever. Thank you, DNG, for your kind words. And as I said, we'll look at your issue of that 5 day return, and also font size on Mac Air. Uh, but we'll have to end the stream here now. Again, don't hesitate to write to us. And thank you so much for joining this and asking your questions. Keep the feedback coming. We'll keep improving our product. Thank you so much, everyone.